Hi class. In this video we're going to look at another example from chapter 6. This is P6-20, very similar to the one in your homework, different amounts, so it won't be exact, but to give you an example of how to work through your homework problems. So we're going to talk about Gallatin Carpet Cleaning, and they are a small family-owned business. It says their current fee is $22.35 per 100 square feet. But there's some question about whether the company is actually making any money on their jobs. So that's probably a good thing for them to know. So they have decided to do some activity-based costing calculations. So we're looking at activity cost pools that they have decided seem to be relevant to their company. So down here we have activity cost pools. So they've divided things up into cleaning carpets, travel to jobs, job support, and other, which would be cost of idle capacity and organization sustaining cost. In other words, administrative costs, costs that really aren't relevant to any particular job. They have decided to cost out each of these activities based on some activity measure. And so for cleaning carpets, they're doing that by 100 square feet of carpet cleaned. For travel to jobs, miles driven, that makes sense. Job support would be by the job, by the number of jobs. So they're going to cost that out per job. And then we have some activity for the year. So we know they've cleaned 14,500 square feet, 500 square feet. So really 14,500 times 100 if you want to think about it that way. 296,000 miles were driven, and they completed 1,700 jobs. The other cost of idle capacity, etc., they're not going to cost that out by jobs, so there's not an activity per year or an activity measure. Then we have some total cost of operating. Total cost of operating was $354,000, and they've divided that up into each type of expense. And then we have a distribution table. So what that's telling us, and let's look at wages for example. Wages cost us $146,000 for the whole year for every activity the company did. But if we look at how those things break out in terms of activities, this chart tells us that 72% of those wages were for people cleaning carpets. 15% of those wages were for people who were traveling to jobs. Job support evidently didn't have any wages, and other was 13% of the wages. So if you add up the 72, the 15, and the 13, you should get 100% of the cost of wages. The same as we work down this list, 100% of the cleaning costs went into cleaning carpets. That makes sense. So we're not going to have any cost associated with the other three activities. So that gives us 100% of the cost are accounted for. With depreciation, 67% of the depreciation cost goes to cleaning carpets. None for travel to job, none for job support, and 33% to other. So if we add those up, we should get 100%. So we would read that chart all the way down to tell us what percentage of each cost go with each activity. This says job support consists of receiving calls from potential customers at the home office, scheduling jobs, billing, resolving issues, etc. So the first thing we're going to do is prepare the first stage allocation of cost to the activity cost pools. So I've made a chart, and this process is very similar to P6-18. So if you've already done that one, you shouldn't have any problem with this one. We're going to go through the same process. So for cleaning carpets, we're going to look up here and find our total cost to clean carpets. For wages. So we're working across to the wages line. So our total cost for wages was $146,000. Of that $146,000, 72% was for cleaning carpets. So we can take the $146,000, multiply that by 72%, and that's going to tell us how many dollars were actually spent in cleaning carpets as far as wages are concerned. Travel to jobs was 15%, and that was $146,000. So we're going to multiply the 146,000 times 15%. Zero was job support, so we can just put a zero in there. And other was $146,000 multiplied by 13%, which is here. So our total costs, we're just adding those across, $146,000, and that's how much it should be because our total wages were $146,000. We just broke it up across each of those activities. All right, so cleaning supplies was $23,000, and we're going to break that up by activity. So $23,000 times 100%. And these are all zero. If we add across, we should get $23,000. Equipment depreciation was $6,000. And under cleaning carpets was 67% of that equipment depreciation should go to cleaning carpets. Oops, and then the next two are zeros, so we'll just plug those zeros in. And then the last one was $6,000 in depreciation by 33%. And that was under other. So we add those up, should give us $6,000, and it does. Vehicle expense total was $36,000. And up here it says we had zero vehicle expense under cleaning carpets. Oh, I can't remember. Let's see, vehicle expense $36,000. Hopefully you're not like me and have to keep scrolling back and forth. So we got 36,000 times 80%. And then we had zero under the next column, and 36,000 times 20% for other. So we add across, should get $36,000, and we do, which is a good thing. Oh, office expenses, $60,000. So same process. Oops, only there's no office expenses under cleaning carpets. That one was zero. Travel to jobs was zero, which makes sense. 58% was for job support, so that's 60,000 times 58%. And then the next one we got 60,000 times 42%. So we add those up, $60,000. And president's compensation was $83,000. Whoops. That was zero. He wasn't out doing any carpet cleaning. He wasn't traveling any jobs, so we can zero that out. And then it was 25% to job support. So we have 83,000 times 25%. And the other was 83,000 times 75%. We're going to add those together and hope that it is 83,000, and it is. It's always a good thing when it adds up. So we're going to add our columns again. And just kind of a check to make sure you're right. This $354,000 of total costs should be the $354,000 up here. That was our total cost for the year. So we've just broken them down by activity, but our total should be the same. So that's kind of a good check. All right, requirement 2 says prepare the, oops, wrong one. Compute the activity rates for the activity cost pool. So we're going to compute a per activity rate for each of these 3 activities. We're not doing other because they're not allocating other expenses by any kind of job measurement. You know that because up here we have no activity measure. Activity for the year is not applicable, so we can just skip that one. So I've got a chart. We've got our activity cost pool. So they got the 3 activities of cleaning carpets, traveling to jobs, and doing job support. So we need to figure out our total cost. So we're going to do that by coming up here to the first chart that we did. So for cleaning carpets, it's the total under cleaning carpets is $132,000. For travel to jobs, it's the total under travel to jobs. which is $50,700, and then for job support, it's a total for job support. So those three amounts came straight from this chart up here. Now our activities, let's look back up here and see what it says. In the first set of data that we're giving, there's a column that says activity for the year. So that's the activity that we're looking at. So for cleaning carpets, the activity is 14,500 square feet. For travel to jobs, 296,000 miles. That's a long way. And for job support, they're doing that by job, so it's 1,700 jobs. So you'll notice our measurements are different depending on the activity. It makes sense to measure the cost of cleaning carpet by square feet. Anytime you're building something, you're going to measure some cost by square feet. Whether it's just how much does it cost to build a square foot of a house, how much is it a square foot to lay down flooring, how much is it a square foot of tile, how much is it to do square foot of painting a wall, and cleaning carpets would make sense to do that. You should also notice that this is 14,500 square feet. So instead of measuring this one by square feet, we're actually doing it in kind of chunks of 100 square feet at a time. So our allocation rate is going by the 100 square feet. Travel to jobs, they're allocating at a per mile rate, so we're going to use the number of miles we drove to come up with an allocation rate. And then job support, they have decided to measure that and cost that by job, because they probably do some activities one time for each job, like doing an estimate for each activity, or maybe they do an inspection for each, for each job, or an inspection for each job, or I don't know, maybe they have shipping stuff for each job, or different things like that only occur one time per each job, so they're going to cost those things out by the job. So the management has decided what these activity bases are going to be. So we're just going to use what they've decided and come up with an activity rate. So to come up with an activity rate, we're going to take our total cost. We're going to divide that by the total activity. So here we got the total cost of $132,140 divided by 14,500, and that's 100 square feet. So it's $9.11 per 100 square feet. The mileage, we're going to take the total cost we paid and divide that by 296,000 miles. Gives us 17 cents, and that is per mile. And then the per job thing, we're going to take the $55,550 and divide that by 1,700 jobs to tell us how much it is per job. All right. So requirement 3 says the cost for flying in wrench job is computed. Yes. It was 54 miles round trip from the company's office, so we're supposed to compute the job using the activity-based costing system. So we're going to figure out, well, how much did it cost us to clean the carpet at Flying In Ranch, and that was 800 square feet of carpet cleaning. So our total activity was 800 square feet. Travel to the job, it said it was 54 miles. And job support, we do that by the job. This was one job, so the activity for that is one job. The activity rate is what we just calculated up here. So we've got an activity rate of $9.11 per 100 square, per 100 square feet. We've got 17 cents per mile for mileage, or for travel, and $32.68 per job. So our activity-based costing is just the total activity times the activity rate, which tells us how much it cost us. So for cleaning carpets, it cost them $9 and let's see, put my equals on, $9.11. Multiply that by 8 because we're calculating, we're calculating a per 100 square feet cost. So for every 100 square feet of carpet cleaning they did, it cost them $9.11. So they did that. Oh, I got a misspelled word there. You fix that. So for every 100 square feet, it cost them $9. So they did 800 square feet, so it would be 8 times that $9.11, which is $72.11. The mileage would be 54 miles times the 17 cents a mile, which is $9.18. And then the job support is $32.68 times one job, which is $30.68. And I didn't put in a total here, so let's total those. So our total cost for the job is $114.74. So this is actually the answer. This is what it cost us to do that job. All right, so then in requirement 4 says the revenue from flying in wrench was $178.80. 800 square feet at $22.35 per 100 square feet. So that's just the cost, or that's the price that they charge the customer to do the job. So $22.35 times 8 is $178.80. So that was the sales price for the carpet cleaning. So it says we are to prepare a report showing the margin from this job. So I've kind of got a little chart down here. So the sale price of that job was $178.80. Our cost for cleaning carpet was $72.88. Travel to job was $9.18. Job support was $32.68. Our total cost were those three things added up, $114.74, which is up here, should be matching that. So our margin was the sale price less our total cost, which is $64.06, which was our customer margin. So it looks like we did make a little bit of money on that. That being said, notice that this cost doesn't include any of those extra costs or other expenses, and they were $115,610. So somewhere we've got to cover the cost of those other things that we didn't allocate to customers. So yeah, we made money, but that's something we want to pay attention to make sure we're making enough money to cover those other expenses that we don't cost out to particular jobs. So hopefully this helped, made sense. I think the main thing that's always confusing to me is when we allocate things by a unit that's not one, so 100 square feet or 1,000 square feet. So just be careful that you're not or dividing by, like here, if you divide it by 800, you get like 0.00 whatever for the activity. And that would be very little because you would be calculating that by a square foot and not 100 square feet. So pay attention to those hunks of activity that they're allocating by. Make sure you divide by the right amount. Other than that, I think this is pretty straightforward. If you get stuck or have any questions, feel free to give me a call.